Now you have businesses that have probably spent thousands of dollars on this when they didn't have to in the first place. All I have to say is frickin' wow.
We have breaking news tonight regarding the sales tax holiday that the Liberals have been ramming down our throats. What if we told you that your chances of actually saving any tax just dropped dramatically, and that the Liberals are about to infuriate anyone who actually wanted this in the first place?
First, let's just remind everybody of how committed the Liberals were to saving you sales tax over the next 2 months. Let's take a look.
You know, Mr. Speaker, for many Canadians, the GST tax holiday actually makes a difference. Just because it doesn't make a difference for that member of Parliament doesn't mean it isn't meaningful for many Canadians. Right. And when I speak to constituents in my community, when I speak to small business owners, when I speak to restaurants, they've told me how important this GST tax holiday is going to be for them over the next couple of months. So just because the tax break isn't meaningful for Conservative MPs doesn't mean it isn't meaningful for Canadians.
Most recently, Mr. Speaker, they've announced they're going to be voting against the GST break for Canadians over the next couple of months. Something that's going to help people at a time where they need that little extra help. But he doesn't care about helping Canadians. He just wants them to suffer more, so maybe he has a chance.
Mr. Speaker, I have a great deal of respect for the MP from Fort McMurray, and that's why I'd like to ask her and all of her colleagues, who I believe sincerely do care about Canadian families, to join us in supporting Canadian families. And here's how they can do it. Vote for a GST rebate over the holidays. That would mean no GST on diapers, no GST on kids' clothes, no GST on that prepared food, maybe rotisserie chicken, that a hardworking mom wants to pick up after work to feed her kids. That is real support we can all deliver in a couple of weeks.
The holidays are a time to take care of one another, and that's why the 2-month GST holiday that starts this Saturday will make the holidays a little bit brighter.
Now, let's just take a look at something that we showed you in a recent video. We were very interested to see this post by Pepsi Canada that said that they're choosing not to comply with the GST and the HST quote-unquote holiday over the next 2 months. And we thought they were being pretty brazen by this, didn't we?
Yeah, we had so many questions about this. Can they do that? How are they going to do that? Can their vendors such as restaurants and grocery stores, can they still claim a GST, HST tax credit when it comes time to file their taxes? What's going on here?
Well, and from what we initially looked up after this, the GST holiday was supposed to be on all vendors, suppliers, restaurants, grocery stores, convenience stores, you know, the whole gambit. We also had Jagmeet Singh basically trying to twist the knife into the Conservatives as well, basically saying, well, we wanted to, cut the GST permanently on all this stuff, but Justin Trudeau let us down by agreeing to just a 2-month break. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the scraps.
Like always.
Now, in listening to the clips, Chrystia Freeland said something that makes a lot of sense to me now. She said GST rebate. And knowing what I know now, that makes a lot of sense. So what the heck are we talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the CFIB, that's the Canadian Federation for Independent Businesses, just posted this on their website. Quote, breaking news. 6 hours before the GST HST holiday is set to begin, the CFIB confirms with the government, that's the federal government, that it is not mandatory for businesses to participate. Quote, this measure is now law. We expect businesses to comply with the new rules, but we don't intend to chase after small businesses that may struggle to implement the measure in time. there remains pathways for businesses and all Canadians to obtain their GST relief on qualifying goods through the CRA, end quote. All I have to say is frickin' wow.
Well, the government has done what it always does, which is put the blame on somebody else. So tomorrow, December the 14th, if you go somewhere and buy one of these items that's supposed to be on the list and you don't receive a GST or HST break, the business has every right not to give you the GST or HST break. And who does the government want you to blame? Not them for implementing this at the last minute. Not them for making a royal mess of this. No, they want you to blame the business who's not doing it.
Well, and here's what the government expects you to do, just so everybody is clear. They're saying, and this goes back to what Freeland said, and that's why now it makes so much sense. So what the government is saying is, well, if the businesses don't give you the GST break, don't worry, Canadians. Just save every single frickin' receipt that you spend over that 2 months, and then you have to do the work in order to apply to the CRA during tax time in order to get your actual money.
Now, do we know that for a fact, or are we just speculating?
No, that's what this says.
That's exactly what that says, is that you were supposed to save your receipts and submit it to the CRA if you were charged HST or GST at the point of sale.
That's what that last line says.
Wow.
You can redeem it from the CRA. So, ladies and gentlemen, after the Liberals were clutching their pearls and singing about how important this is for Canadians and how it's so necessary and how their constituents are letting them know how much they want it, they're turning around and basically saying nobody has to do it in the first place.
So none of these businesses, very small businesses included, have to go to the trouble of reprogramming their POS. If they haven't done so already, I imagine a bunch of them have already started this process knowing that this is coming, but they didn't have to do it. Consumers can just submit receipts to the CRA and get reimbursed, I guess?
Yeah, and now you have businesses that have probably spent thousands of dollars on this when they didn't have to in the first place.
Now, this is going to make things even worse for the cashiers who, if their particular place of employment is not participating in this at the point of sale, they have to, A, argue with the customers that, no, we're not doing this, it's not mandatory. And B, they have to tell them, oh, well, you can save your receipt and submit it later.
You're going to be dealing with pissed off Canadians across the country.
You
folks.
Sure are.
And anybody who did manage to say, you know what, I'm going to wait to do my shopping because I'm going to save money. Now there's a great chance they're not going to save any money for Christmas. Like,
I don't know how great that chance is. I mean, I would be very curious to look in the shopping that we do between now and February, like, you know, which stores are honoring it, which stores are not, which receipts I'm going to submit, if I submit any at all. Like, the government just complicated this to the nth degree.
Yeah, like it was a crap show to begin with after they put through this legislation, and now it's 10 times worse because now it's like, okay, the consumers just have to roll the tax roulette to actually, you know, try and figure out which stores are actually participating and which are not. Like, they did this to try and earn votes, and the NDP supported them and propped them up on this, and they paused the STTC question of privilege for this, folks, for this. So I got nothing. I have nothing. And never mind the Canada Post, you know, stuff, folks. We're going to be talking about that on a video that we're going to be dropping tomorrow morning. But it's just bad news all around. Like, I don't see how anyone at all can believe anything this Liberal or NDP government says at all, because this is it. Well, this is it. This was their big thing going into Christmas, and it's meaningless.
But Jagmeet Singh still has confidence in the Liberals because, after all, they're better than the Conservatives, aren't they?
Right?
How about we let Canadians decide that?